What is going on, guys? It's Gospel Gamer here. We are back on Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc.
So instead of who,
and we're in a class trial.
I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste
I reckon he was
said,
still awake. We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then, the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man.
It's very weird.
There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move.
Oh yeah,
itself.
like, because I don't think he was actually dead downstairs, was he?
The dead body moved on its own?
No, he wasn't dead.
No. Not another ghost.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in
Yeah, because the
reality, he
thing
was
didn't
still
actually,
alive.
the discovered body notification didn't go until we were there.
Alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
No.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Why is that not possible? The idea that Hifumi was still alive, is it really possible? So we got them. Broken wristwatch. That doesn't seem like a bullet I can use
Are
here.
you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
Okay.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Yeah, because we found, I reckon it is. I'm sure the body announcement was only made once, but, oh yeah, obviously, yeah. Because Hifumi was still conscious, so he wasn't dead.
There's a chance he was actually...
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discover Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
No?
discovery.
Okay.
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance...
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body, the Hifumi's dead body, and that is why the...
Are we really... Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay.
Are you saying that when we first found... There's a chance he was actually still...
No. It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovered Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Got it. Okay.
No, it's wrong.
I'm really going down lives at the moment.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Yep.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So
Yep.
there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere.
Yep.
I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply
Exactly.
got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Why would he do that?
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer
Yep.
our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time.
Yeah.
Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's
Yet it did.
true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Exactly.
Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Yep. The second body discovery announcement. The first time we played, we found the body in the nurse's office, the equipment room. The second one was when we found both bodies rediscovered. That's the one.
We heard it a second time in the repository when we rediscovered the two bodies.
Yep, I know about that one. Cool.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Exactly.
In reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Which was
So
Ifumi's.
when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
No.
Meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
He spoke to us.
I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever
Okay.
heard.
Sounds like Jill never really helps,
I
does
do
she?
not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay, then.
spoke to us.
Let's take another
I'm
look
sure
at
he
the
did.
events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that it showed Ifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. That's what we got. What have we got? Ifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office.
Yep.
And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Yep.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved,
Something about
other
glass.
than the change in how it was positioned,
No, it wasn't.
there was no notable difference.
There was. There was. His glasses were absolutely clean. Perfectly clean.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
Yep.
His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
I'd fill you in. I mean, yeah,
When we
not
found
pervy jokes.
Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
Yep.
But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Yep. The evidence I found in the trash can in the nurse's office was that cleaning cloth thing.
It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
Yep.
One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was
Princess Piggles, Jesus.
From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt.
Never heard of an anime
anyone
like that. That
would
just
have brought
seems weird to
something
me.
like this to school.
I see your point.
Bit odd.
And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Exactly.
Tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Yep, without a doubt.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
He
What
moved
I'm
himself.
saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead,
And what?
what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No, but it could be from the
fridge in the
fridge.
nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he
Yep.
got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Right. The one who moved Taka's corpse is Hifumi?
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also
Right.
explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right?
Yeah.
So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
This is really confusing now. I'm not
The
entirely
door
sure
can
what's
only
going
be
on.
locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was
Okay.
dead. And when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I'm really confused
Just
now.
can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Yes, please.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto?
The only thing that Hifumi stole from Taka. He had a torn piece of paper, so he had the rest of it. So it's got to be that.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
Yep.
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
Num.
In his...
Yummy, I know, right?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole. Maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else. Let's meet in the equipment room for 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
Yes, there's 2 different notes.
Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch
course
with
it's not
another
the same.
person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
Alright, calm down, Phoenix,
I
right?
don't understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So
Yeah.
whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy!
What?
Just to be clear, TikTok
Why is she
is
giving everyone
Taka
nicknames?
and Happy is Hifumi, right?
Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let it get to me. Oh god.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
No, because it was
But
torn.
remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter!
It does.
The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
I reckon it. Yeah, it is, because he's got a broken wristwatch, for fuck's sake. It's 6 a.m. God damn it, Genocide Jill. So annoying.
There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note
What are you
says
talking about,
meet
Wim?
6 a.m., which is you've
Oh,
already
shit, I
proven
skipped
that
it.
using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where he died.
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Yep.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
God, you sound like such a fucking stoner.
The culprit
Dude,
really is a cold-blooded
so use it
monster.
to
Telling
Taka.
people they
Yeah,
found a way
bro.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He took it out of Taka's hand.
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof?
Well, yeah,
Go ahead.
because
Shut.
proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka was a little torn piece of paper. Where is it?
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Oh, damn.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
And what's that?
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving
Death grip.
behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure.
Yeah, dude.
In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
No, he's not.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
Yep.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
I don't know.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
I have no idea who that would
He was
be.
killed in the repository. So
I know
he
it's not
must have been
Kyoko or
killed
Taka.
not long after transporting
Not
Taka's
Taka.
body.
Hero.
So, he must have been killed
Can't be
after
Sakura.
Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other
Yeah.
words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Wow.
Call it a walrus!
Good damn it, Genocide Jill.
When they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
What about it?
Weapon.
Yeah. Because, I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice
Yeah.
Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm
It would.
surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Wow.
Yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The
So someone's
Monokuma
obviously
file
used that
makes it
clean
clear
hammer
that
which
they
we
were
saw, which was
killed
clean, is
because
obviously the murder
hammers
weapon.
were already laying around those other rooms.
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
They wouldn't have.
Personally, I haven't a clue. So
They
which
didn't.
hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
That doesn't
Those were
matter.
accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Yeah, like
I
the
don't
cleaned
think
one
it
I
is
found.
possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Fumi, the whole picture surrounding this case wouldn't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. The truth! The truth! The truth is on fire! We don't need no water. Let it burn, let it burn. Oh look, Spotless Hammer, perfect.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Don't know what was used to kill
Was it
Fumi.
Justice Hammer 3?
No.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out.
Which
How was
is...
the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Oh shit.
Shoot!
Sorry. Fucked up.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Was it just baby justice? Well, there's one. How was the culprit?
Let's go back to where we were.
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about. Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Oh wow.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was the spotless hammer!
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Yep.
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Yep.
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers.
Big hammers, small hammers,
small
cardboard
ones,
box.
and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Obviously, yeah.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that was
Okay.
the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him.
Why?
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Okay. We did talk about how there was no reason for anyone else to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Alright, shut up, BP. Spotless hammer again.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
Is it?
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay.
Based on the rules that have
So I reckon
been
I have to
laid out
hit
for us,
when she says impossible
even
or
if
something.
more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true.
Yeah, I did it right.
No, it's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Yep.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Yep. It's like gambling.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Can they?
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime.
Okay.
And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
Okay.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
Yep, that makes
And
sense.
it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look.
Okay.
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Bit harsh, but okay.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Would make sense otherwise.
It's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still,
Accident skipped it again. The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events but entirely separate events. Kyoko really is amazing, although when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
Accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case is unfolded, when you consider all that, there's only really one person who seems to fit. Who controlled Hifumi? Okay, we'll go through one by one. Okay, so it's not me. It's not Sakura, because she was with me. It's not Kyoko, because we found someone together. It's not Aoi. I think we basically said it's not him. Can't be him. She had a weird relationship with Hifumi. Can't be her. Wow. I'm going through it that way. Celeste, I guess.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Don't say.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
a joke? I wonder.
Because you made everyone go to the third
So what you
floor.
are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardon-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Yep.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what
Yeah.
we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Yeah, I guess.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Asshole.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
I mean, they did
After
kill someone, so
taking
yeah,
Hifumi
obviously.
to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was rather intense screaming someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was walking the stairs, so he headed further down his hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
it was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Yeah, that makes sense.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Yep. Interesting.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, and on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
Wasn't very piercing.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I mean, like, barely.
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
Yeah.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
And I think we'll end the episode here. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below if you want to see more of this, and do subscribe to the channel as I upload every day. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.